Hello and welcome to Fashion Report Friday, the weekly video series trying to get you the most MGP possible from the Mandeville Gold Saucer every Friday when judging begins for the Fashion Report minigame. This is week 356, and this time around, as we can see if we talk to the Master Rose, this time it is Leisurely Lupin. Individual clues for items include Rest and Relaxation for our helm, Found Allegan for our legs, Going Garo for our feet, and the Cloth I Bear for our left or bottom ring slot. In this video we have a 100 score, an 80 with dies, and the easiest 80 possible. For the 100 score then, as you can see, our best in slot item is the Crescent Moon Cone. Alternatively, the Crescent Moon Nightcap will also work. Both of these are Weaver recipes or obtained on the market board from other players. I'm not sure if anything else works for the slot, but those two will definitely. For our legs then, our next slot is Lost Allegan Trousers of Fending. You can go for any augmented or original Lost Allegan trousers or bottoms. These cover every single job in the game. There's fending, maiming, striking, scouting, aiming, casting, and healing. You can get these with Centurio seals, 120 of those in Kagane from the NPC set Suya. So that's where you would get those 120 Centurio seals. Originally, obviously, not part of Centurio seals, but that's where you'll find them now. And yeah, there are no alternatives to that. They have to be some of these trousers. And then we've got for our feet, I went for the feet of the Golden Wolf. This can be any of the Garo event feet. So this applies to any job in the game. They all have them. So obviously I went for the Paladin one specifically here, but I tried to match something with whatever I had of the Lost Allegan trousers. I just happened to have a fending one still, so I combined that with the Makai Garo event item, the Feet of a Golden Wolf. But you can go for any of them. Just bear in mind you're going to have to match your legs to your feet in terms of roll. And then finally, we have for the Cloth I Bear, you can use a couple of different rings. I went for the Scintillant Ring of Slaying in this example. The Scintillant Rings are crafted rings with a goldsmith. They're level 60, 250 item level. The best thing about these is it doesn't really matter which one you craft or buy from a market board, because they all work on anybody level 60 and above for Disciples of War or Magic. So you could be a caster and equip the Slaying one. It wouldn't matter. Just any of those scintillant rings will work. Alternatives to this include the Carborundum rings, which you can get from Sigmascape on normal. The Palladium Band, I believe, will work, which is another craft. And the Diamond Ring, obviously, from Sigmascape on Savage mode. But the Scintillant Ring is probably the easiest to obtain, or the cheapest to obtain out of all of those. Not too bad. A lot of items that, you know, if you haven't done PvP before, probably, you know, you're not going to have these. So let's move on to the 80 with dies. For the 80 with dies then, as you can see, we have something equipped in every single slot. Don't miss any slots off. We have ourselves Current Purple, which is an Amalja tribal purchase die for 334 gil on any weapon in the game. We have 2 pure white dies, which are premium dies from a cash shop or retainers. Again, quite expensive on any helm and chest in the game. We have Charcoal Grey, which is an NPC die merchant purchase die, which is pretty good for 216 gil on any hands in the game. And then we've got 2 jet black dies, one on your legs and one on your feet, which again is another premium die from either the cash shop or of course from your retainers or the market board, very rarely and expensively. So yeah, not too good, but we can learn from this. Let's move on to the easy 80. All right, here we are on one of my alts. You might remember this being the Eutrope recreation I did a while ago. For this, you'll need to go to the Disreputable Priest if you're new to the game. Once you've got some PvP wolf marks in the bag, and by doing some PvP, definitely a great time to do it because there's a new season on. This should be accessible by anybody who's, you know, playing the game, including free trial players. If you go to the Disreputable Priest, which is actually on this dockyard area to the north of the Wolf's Den Pier, you can purchase one of the pieces of legwear that you want. For example, we play Dragoon for our PvP on this character, so we're going to go to Melee 1, and we're going to go to Armor, and you'll find under the Armor tab, if you go down any of those feet. Now, it doesn't matter what you go for, like we said before in the 100, any of the boots from any of the roles will work. Obviously, for this, we're going to go for the ones that are Dragoon related, which is the feet of the White Knight. And then we're going to go to Uldar. You can go to any of the starting city-states. I'm going to go to Uldar specifically here, and we're going to go to the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Right near the actual mini Aetheryte, if you take a right as you teleport in, you'll find the NPC Nanabe. Nanabe is a dye merchant, and there are other dye merchants in other city-states, like I say. But here we're going to be purchasing specifically charcoal grey. That's what we're going to need, and it will cost us 216 gil for the one pot, which isn't too bad. And as you can see, we've put on the starting gear for Mikote, just so we don't get confused with gear. And then what we've essentially done is we've combined one charcoal grey dye on any hands in the game. The first dye slot is the only dye slot that's taken into consideration, just to bear that in mind. If you have something that is double dyeable, it only counts the first dye slot. So that first dye slot on any hands in the game, charcoal grey, and then combine that with any of the Garrow feet, which obviously will cost you 2,000 wolf marks. You can also spend MGP for tarnished versions of them, but I wouldn't recommend that because we're trying to make MGP here, not spend it. So wolf marks, obviously 2,000 is pretty good. And though that pair of boots with that dye combined with something equipped in every single slot will get you a guaranteed 80 score. If you don't get an 80 score, it's because something isn't equipped and you haven't followed this list. But there we go. Nice and simple. Very cool. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully that was helpful. Link in the description to the Reddit thread where this is theorized each and every week. More videos on the way. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.